All right, we are grading another one of your Dynasty trades. That's right. If you want your trade to be submitted for this series, it's actually super simple. All you got to do is join our Discord. Link is in the description.
Yep.
And then we have a Dynasty trade channel. Anytime you pop a trade in there, we look through them every week and we decide what trade do we want to actually look at.
Yeah.
So pop them into there and you'll automatically be considered. All right, let's look at two trades. And by the way, I'll say this. Both trades that we're looking at today include players that you rarely see traded. So I'm excited about today's video.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this first trade. You can see it on the screen now. Shout out to Savcon. He submitted this.
Sheesh.
Team A gets Kyle Pitts. Team B gets Devontae Adams, Kenneth Walker, and a 2023 first round pick. Firstly, again, I wanted to bring this trade because it's very rare, Badaki, to find a Kyle Pitts trade.
Yeah, it is.
It is very difficult to find a real Kyle Pitts trade. So I thought we would enjoy breaking this down. I have a very strong opinion on this, but I would like to hear your opinion. Who won this trade?
Of course. Look, right now, at the moment, it feels like we will not know who will win this trade in a couple of years. But right now, Team A. It feels like Team A, which would be the Kyle Pitts side. That just feels like the most solidified team and players, in my personal opinion. So my questions for Team B is, okay, you get Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams feels like the most secure player. He's going back with Derek Carr. He makes Derek Carr better, but is Devontae Adams going to get and be the same person he was? I mean, he had Aaron Rodgers his whole career. Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers. Not saying he won't be the Devontae Adams. I'm just questioning.
Right. Okay.
You know, Kenneth Walker, great running back in the draft. Where's he going to go? There's a huge chance because we don't know where this guy's going to go. If he goes to a backfield where, you know, he's a second, third string running back and we didn't expect that because we do believe he could be a workhorse. Where does he fall? The biggest question. And then the 2023 pick, which I feel like is probably the best thing out of this trade outside of Devontae Adams, because at the moment, there's just so much talent coming out of the 2023 class that I feel like you're gonna hit no matter what. Hopefully, at least that's what it feels like right now. It feels like that 2023 first.
That's what we said about 2021.
We did 100%.
And some people hit and some people miss.
And the 2023 class, once again, if it's hard to come by right now, nobody wants to trade.
Right.
And getting the 2023 pick is massive in my opinion. So, and then for the Pitt side, I think it's the most solidified player. One of the most talented tight ends to come out for a decade. It feels a very, very long time, and to get him and to solidify the tight end room. And I don't draft tight ends early. I don't trade for tight ends because I'd rather get those late round guys. You know, I'm not trading for Kyle Pitts and setting my world. No way. But for me to see this, that's crazy. I think this is a good deal. I'm on Team A side, but once again, for me, I don't think the true answer won't be for the next couple of years to really know who won.
I'll just start by saying I do kind of see the validity on both sides, although I am a little bit confused by what Team B is doing. Are we a win now team? Are we a future?
Yeah,
I don't truly understand where we are as a team there, but I would prefer Team A side. I would prefer the Kyle Pitts side of this trade. And there are very few truly untouchable dynasty players for me. It's a list that I could count on one hand. Okay. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. Okay. Those are the four players that I truly view as untouchable pieces, meaning it doesn't matter what you send to me, I'm not moving on from them. Okay. And everyone else, I know Jonathan Taylor's not on that list because, yes, you guys know from this video series, I am very willing to move Jonathan Taylor. So everyone else is up for sale if the price is right. Is the price right? The price is right.
Price is right.
But secondly, let's look at Kyle Pitts. I feel like we are so spoiled. We are so spoiled nowadays. People are breaking records left and right, and we are just treating it like it's absolutely nothing. This is incredible stuff that we saw from Kyle Pitts this year. Let's look at how truly special this year was, okay? In the 100+ years the NFL has been around, only one tight end had more receiving yards as a rookie, and that was Mike Ditka with 50 more receiving yards. In 100 years, okay? Kyle Pitts finished this year as a rookie 7th in receptions and 3rd in receiving yards amongst all tight ends. as a rookie. Let's look at the efficiency in this first year. First amongst all tight ends in yards per reception.
Right.
Third in yards per target. Fifth in yards per route run. Eighth in average cushion.
Okay.
All this while being the number one target without any distractions for the defense to focus on for about 85 to 90% of these games. Okay. My guy was able to put up the 8th best average cushion, which means the total yards between him and the closest defender on routes. We watched those games. No one was paying attention to anyone except for Kyle Pitts on defense. Yet he was still able to find space for the quarterback to hit him. Oh, and by the way, he's 21 years old. Okay, I'm going on a rant. Stay with me. When did the other elite tight ends have their first 1,000-yard season in the NFL? Let's look at Mark Andrews. He was 26 when he first hit 1,000 yards. What about Travis Kelce? 27 when he first hit 1,000 yards. How about Waller? 27. How about Zach Ertz? 28. Okay, in my opinion, if you have Kyle Pitts, you are truly sitting on a gold mine. He is absolutely untouchable for me. He is an absolute unicorn. And I think we are constantly undervaluing these record-breaking type seasons because someone's done it. Oh, Justin Jefferson broke the record. And then Jamar. I mean, people just break records. Yeah, this is still extremely impressive. And lastly, there's just too many unknowns on Team B, right? Devontae Adams is 30. Unless I'm a win-now team, I don't want him on my team. And I think his value actually dropped going to Las Vegas. Kenneth Walker, while I love him, we don't know if he's going to be a workhorse. We genuinely don't know that.
Correct.
And the 2023 first, is there a chance I get a player as talented as Kyle Pitts? I don't know. Maybe. There's a lot of talent there, but again, you only hit on about 50% of your rookie picks anyway.
Yeah.
And what if this first is a late first? You know, there's a big difference between the 101 and the 112.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
To me, there is so much uncertainty. Yeah. But I don't understand. Again, I don't understand Team B here. Are we win now or are we building for the future? Because this trade is quite confusing when you look at both sides. You know what I mean? It's like, well, we gave up Kyle Pitts. Yeah, we're win now. We're going to go get it. But we got Kenneth Walker in a first. What's the deal here? Let's give grades on this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For me, Team A gets a B plus and Team B gets a B minus. Once again, we are not going to know who's truly won this trade, but what we do know is that Kyle Pitts, like Zach just raved about, is a one-in-a-lifetime generational talent at his position. So it's difficult.
And you lock it up for like a decade plus. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with this. I really want to come back to these teams.
Yeah, we could be wrong. I could be completely wrong.
No doubt about it.
Anything happens, and we hit and we miss. But for me right now, if I'm Team A, I'm feeling on top of the world. A plus. If I'm Team B, I'm giving you a B, just a flat B. So that was our first trade. We have another trade that you can see on the screen. Shout out to Jordan Rudolph. He's a part of our Patreon, and we found this message in one of our DMs and said, "Hey, can we present this?" We're not going to tell you what side he got. We just want to present it from a outsider's perspective.
Correct.
Because again, just like Pitts, we almost never see trades that include Josh Allen. So I thought it would be fun to look at this one together. Team A has Elijah Moore, Trey Lance, the 106. Team B, Josh Allen, and the 307. So really, Josh Allen.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm curious where you stand on this because you're a big Elijah Moore lover.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure where you would sit here, but I'm excited to have the conversation.
Look, this is even-ish. I don't really know how to feel about this trade because
huge risk.
There's huge risk. And there's just so many questions. The reason why this one's hard for me because I am an Elijah Moore believer. And it's not that I'm not a Trey Lance believer, but I am hesitant because we haven't seen a true opportunity for Trey Lance. And hopefully we see that this year. So, I mean, the expectation is that Elijah Moore and Trey Lance could be top future 10, 15, players at their position. Elijah Moore, I believe, can be a top 15, top 10 wide receiver for me. And Trey Lance, the expectation is that he can be a top 10, a top 15 quarterback. He was the third overall draft pick or second overall draft pick. That's huge. Okay. That's big talks. So I think that's why it's really hard for me, because we really haven't seen the opportunity fully for both of these guys. And then I think that's why you made this trade, because you believe. You know, you believe and you hope.
Believe in Trey. You believe in Elijah.
Yeah, you believe in Elijah. And then the 2022 first, I think that's okay. You know, who can that be? A London, a Wilson, a Pickett. London, Wilson, Pickett, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, Jameson Williams, you know, Kenny Pickett, whatever the case may be. It could be any of those guys, which is great. Once again, Zach always says you can only hit on 50%. You usually hit on 50% of those guys. So it's a risk. And then Josh Allen is a solidified QB1 back-to-back 2020, 2021 quarterback with the rushing upside. I mean, how can you give that up? That is really hard to come by. And I mean, if this is a super flex league in this trade, it is. So this is tremendous. But at the same time, it's okay, because you got Trey Lance. The expectation, he could be top 12. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
All right. I do think that this is relatively close. Okay. I am going team B here. I would prefer the Josh Allen side. And like I said earlier, you heard me list 4 names, okay, as players that I truly view as untouchables. Correct. It doesn't matter what you send me. They're not moving. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. Excuse me. Okay. We're talking about back-to-back quarterback 1 finishes for Josh Allen. Okay. And he's 25 years old. There is potentially a decade plus of elite quarterback play. And we can all agree, I think, that having solid quarterbacks is one of the most important things for the longevity of your dynasty team. In a super flex league, I don't think there's anything that someone could send me for me to let go of that. And I had Josh Allen in a league. I put him on the block this offseason just for a day to see what I would get. Nothing came close. Okay. However, I am intrigued by the other side. I am at least intrigued. And I actually want to bring us into a world for a second where this could make sense. But firstly, I love Elijah Moore, my wide receiver 16 right now. Right. I do believe in Trey Lance's upside. He can be a top 5 to 10 quarterback. That is his upside. He can be that with the rushing ability. And the 106, you could find a top 12 wide receiver there if you really hit. Maybe, right? Okay. But there's still question marks. I keep saying if. I keep saying upside. I keep saying potentially. So let me take you to this world, because I thought to myself, how could I justify it? And how could Team A win? There is a world. I don't know what the chances of this world being realistic are, but let me walk you through this. Number 1, Trey Lance finishes 2022 as a top 8 quarterback and looks at least decent as a starter, meaning he's going to keep the job. There's a projection for his career, right? And the Niners are backing him 100% without doubt. Okay. Number 2, Elijah Moore finishes the top 15 wide receiver.
Talk it up.
And looks to be a solidified wide receiver 2 on your team.
Wide receiver 1. Correction. Okay.
Number 3, you get Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, London, whoever is at the 106, and they have a promising season a la Elijah Moore 2021, right? Okay. There's a flash in there somewhere. Right. At least a flash. Right. Where you can see, okay, I think I have a top 15 player potentially, a top 20 player potentially. So for me, those are the things that I would need to see to consider this a truly even trade. However, there's a lot of things that got to go right for that to happen. You know what I mean? And let's say Trey Lance finishes top 5. Elijah Moore finishes top 10. And Treylon Burks is a top 12 wide receiver and you grabbed him at the 106. Right. Okay. Hey, maybe you probably got the best side of the deal. But again, every time I try and justify it for Team A, I'm saying maybe, if. Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. Potentially. Upside. Okay. You know? Okay. All these trigger words. So what if, do you get where I'm coming from?
100%.
What do you?
Let's switch the narrative a little bit. I mean, maybe top 8 is too generous. Let's say he finishes.
Who?
Trey Lance. Let's say we see a progression and hope like a Mac Jones. Obviously, it's different because Mac Jones is a different quarterback, but Mac Jones was wide receiver. Quarterback 18. We saw glimpses of Mac Jones. Wow. Okay, that's a great throw. He knows how to run the offense. He knows how to do this. No.
Well, if we're strictly talking about a fantasy points perspective, a quarterback 18 finish for Trey Lance, if he's the starter this year, is not good at all. Okay. Because we know what he can do on the ground. Right. If Trey Lance starts this year, every single game, he should be a top 12 guy from what I know about him from what we have seen about him. If he's not top 12 and he started every game, I'm disappointed. I am thoroughly disappointed because of the rushing upside in what we have seen from him and the weapons around him. So
good to know.
Quarterback 18, no, I would be very disappointed because he should be a much better fantasy asset than Mac Jones is. Now, if we're talking about if he shows the maturity of a Mac Jones and the poise of a Mac Jones, that's a different conversation. But if we're talking purely fantasy finish, no.
Yeah. I think like the thought process I had with the Mac Jones comparison was how we saw glimpses of like greatness. I feel like we saw glimpses of greatness. I feel like with Mac Jones, Justin Fields and the way he can throw the ball and his accuracy. If Trey Lance can do that, because the thought process him coming into the season was that he has an explosive arm.
Right.
He can run the ball as well. So even if he doesn't have a crazy rushing upside, but the way he's throwing the ball and reading the offenses and manipulating players, still finishing wide receiver 8. Obviously, yes, and you're right. It's a different conversation because of the rushing upside with Trey Lance. But I'm interested just to see how the fantasy community is going to react if Trey Lance doesn't finish in the top 12, because that is the expectation. And
can I walk you through worst case scenario for Team A here? Mm-hmm. Just worst case scenario.
I think they would like it too. I'm listening.
So Jimmy G stays. And I don't think this is happening. I've been public about that, but there's 30% of me that's like, this could happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to think about it from the Niners perspective. They don't care who's the quarterback. They don't. They just want to go to the Super Bowl. And in their minds, well, we were one interception that should have been caught away from going to the Super Bowl. Mm. Let's think about that for a sec. The Niners were one dropped interception away from going to the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. That's what Jimmy G.
From an organization's perspective, if they don't see the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith type season, right? Who knows? Maybe they stick with him because no one's going to give them trade value right now. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't hurt their cap at the moment.
And with the quarterback market's going and how everyone's getting signing here, signing there, it doesn't look like he has a place to go.
And keep in mind, I know Jimmy G is no Aaron Rodgers, but when they drafted Jordan Love, we all thought, okay, Rodgers is probably gone. If not this year, next year. And then we had that conversation again. So all I'm saying is I am 70% sure that is Trey Lance, but there's the 30% of me that's like, that is worst case scenario. Because one, it shows a lack of trust in Trey. And two, it's going to destroy his confidence if they do that.
If Jimmy G,
it will destroy his confidence. I don't think that they should do that as a franchise, but I'm just saying.
If Jimmy G is not gone by rookie OTAs, I think he's staying on the team. I think that's July, if I'm not mistaken. So if he's not gone,
does he serve as a backup with that money? Does he serve as a backup?
I don't know.
Who knows what's going to happen, guys?
That's a whole different conversation.
I guess from the 49ers perspective, hey, let's start Trey, and then we have the most valuable backup in the league. I don't know. But anyway, let's give grades. I don't know if we did that yet. I'm going to give Team A a B, B flat, and Team B an A+. Again, you're literally getting the 101 in every Dynasty startup, the most valuable player in Dynasty right now.
Yeah. For this team, I think it's very, very even-ish. So I'm giving Team A an A- and Team B, Team B an A flat, and a Team B an A-. Excuse me.
You just said Team B twice in a row.
Okay.
So let's get some clarity here.
I'm giving Team A an A- and Team B an A flat.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's a much better grade than I expected. Yeah, so
I like that.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Either way, it's actually okay.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.